go in here. Just get rid of these. What you'll want to do is design out a playfield for the player to fly through these barns. You do have to be a little bit aware that you can make it a little bit too hard if you do things like putting this windmill that close to the edge of the barn. So it may take a little bit of play testing before you get a good feel of how far to place these things. But as you need more objects, just drag them from over here in the screen. So if I wanted to put a fat cow on top of here, I would just drag it over. If I want to put another barn, just select the barn pieces. This way they're duplicates and not individual objects. And let's put fence piece down here. Move it down a little bit. Now put some more wheat here, make it look kind of nice. And another fence there. And put a cloud up in the sky. So just go along all the way down the playfield, basically building your level for the player to play. Put a big hill here. I like to put the cows on top of the hills for some reason. You just know that they would be there. Alright, so I'm going to pause this while you build the rest of your playfield. Just basically mix and match and try to think what would be fun for the player to do. And try to make it a variety so you never know what you're going to see when you come around the edge. You know, is it going to be 2 windmills in a row, 2 easy barns, a couple fat cows, whatever. So go ahead and work on that. And I'm going to load up a completed level. And when you're ready, press play on the video again. Okay, so here we have the playfield I've laid out. I'll just scroll down here a little bit so you can kind of see it. And we got the barns and cows, windmills, hill, windmill, barn, cows, windmill, all the way down till we get to the end. Alright, so I'm ready to do our programming on this. Switch over to the event editor. And our first event is going to be to handle the plane and the top of the screen. So I'm just going to test for plane position, leaving out the top. And when that's true, I just want to do our plane movement stop. That's a nice simple one. Now let's check for a collision between the plane and any member of group bad. And that's just plane collides with another object. And here's group bad. Now when this is true, we're going to play a sample. And it's going to be sample crush. Of course I got out of the correct place. There we go, crush wave. This came with your library graphics and the written tutorial and all that. And player control, we're going to ignore control. And now under our plane we need to do a few things. We need to do animation sequence change into crash. Change sequence over to crash. And we want to select movement number 2. Multiple movements, select movement number 2. And then let's make sure we're going in the right direction still. And that was direction 26. And we're good to go. Now the plane will stop moving and the screen will stop scrolling when the plane hits the bottom of the frame. So let's test the position, and that's on the bottom. And we're going to use some flags here on our plane. Flag 0 is for the screen scrolling, and flag 1 is to control jumping to the high score frame. And we're going to set both of these on. So under the plane, flag set on 0. Flags set on 1. So now flags 1 and 0 are both turned on. And we're also going to play the sample crush. So I'll drag and drop it down. And we're going to ignore control. So I'm going to drag and drop that one down. And I'm going to change our animation to the crash. And I'm also going to set our movement to stop, because once you hit the ground, we stop. Alright, let's handle the scrolling of the frame, and that was with flag number 0. Flag 0 is off by default, so is flag off 0. This will be true right away when we start the frame. I'm going to update the plane's position, so that's to set the x coordinate, and I'm going to retrieve the current x coordinate, then I'm going to do +5, so that'll move it 5 more pixels down the screen. And now I need to do the scrolling, which is under the storyboard. Scrolling, center window position in frame relative to our plane, and I want to use the offset 250x and 0y. So it's going to center on this location here in front of the plane. Alright, and with the power of Fusion, that handles all of our scrolling. Very nice. Now let's test for flag 1 being on, and flag 1 is when the game is over because they've hit the ground. And we're going to make a multiple conditions here in this event. I'm going to add a new condition, and under the timer I'm going to do every 2 seconds. So this will wait 2 seconds after this is true. And that's just jumping to frame number 3, which is our high score frame. That is very simple. Now, event number 6 is going to be handling colliding with the barn. Plane collides with another object, and we'll pick the barn. And we want to add 300 to the player's score. So under player 1, score, add the score, 300. And we want to create a chicken and create our 300 point text. So let's do the chicken first. Create object, and I'll pick out our chicken, and we're going to create that relative to the barn, and the offset on this is going to be 160 and 75. Obviously I've played around and know those numbers, and let's create the